Have been one of the most emotional matches on.
At the end, leave this moment. Going to be difficult to handle everything.
Rafael Nadal just went nuclear on the ATP, and the tennis world is still trying to process what he said. The legendary champion, known for his calm composure and respect for the sport's institutions, finally snapped. 10 words. That's all it took to expose what he called unfair and disgraceful treatment of Alex Eala during the Abu Dhabi controversy. When Nadal speaks, the entire tennis establishment listens. But when Nadal erupts like this, we know something has gone seriously wrong. What happened to Alex Eala in Abu Dhabi and why it pushed Nadal to his breaking point is worse than anyone realized. To understand why Rafael Nadal just detonated a bomb on the entire tennis establishment, we need to go back to what actually happened in Abu Dhabi, because the mainstream coverage didn't tell you the full story. Coming into the 2026 Abu Dhabi Open, Alex Eala was riding the hottest streak of her career. Fresh off dominating the Australian swing, where Filipino fans literally took over Melbourne Park and showed the world what passionate support looks like, she arrived in the UAE as a legitimate threat. This wasn't the same player grinding through ITF events 12 months ago. This was a top 40 contender with wins over Grand Slam champions on her resume. In the singles draw, Alex fought like the warrior we've come to expect. She battled through tough opponents, showcasing that relentless grit that has become her signature. She reached the quarterfinals where she faced Ekaterina Alexandrova, a heavy hitter known for overpowering opponents with sheer baseline brutality. It was a grueling match that pushed both players to their limits, and Alex fell just short. Disappointing? Sure, but not controversial. The real scandal, the spark that ignited Nadal's fury, happened in the doubles draw. Alex teamed up with Indonesia's Janice Tijen, forming a Southeast Asian partnership that captured the imagination of tennis fans across the region. They weren't just participating, they were dominating. They stunned the second seeds in the quarterfinals with a performance so electric that social media exploded with clips of their chemistry and shot-making. They were marching toward the trophy. The momentum felt unstoppable. Then came the semifinals against Teresa Mahalikova and Olivia Nichols. On paper, the scoreline tells a simple story. 4-6, 2-6, a straight sets loss. Nothing unusual, move along, nothing to see here. But if you were actually watching, if you were paying attention to the scheduling, the court assignments, and the bizarre officiating decisions throughout that tournament, you knew something was deeply wrong. Alex Eala looked exhausted on that court, and not because she lacks fitness. This is a player trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy, one of the most physically demanding tennis institutions on the planet. She looked exhausted because the tournament scheduling had been absolutely brutal to her specifically. While top seeds received primetime slots and full recovery days between matches, Alex was bouncing between singles and doubles with barely enough time to shower and change. She was playing back-to-back matches in the desert heat, while established favorites rested comfortably in air-conditioned hotels, preparing for opponents who had already been ground down by the system. By the time Alex reached the quarterfinals in singles and the semifinals in doubles, she had played nearly double the amount of tennis as some top seeds who had received first-round byes. Her legs were heavier, her reaction time was slower, her recovery window was practically non-existent. Is that competition, or is that manufactured attrition designed to protect the established order? Rafael Nadal watched all of this unfold, and unlike the commentators who simply noted "good effort" before moving on to the next match, Nadal saw something that triggered a response nobody expected from the calmest champion in tennis history. Let me be crystal clear about why Nadal's reaction matters so much. This is a man who has played thousands of professional matches across 3 decades. He has endured rain delays at Roland Garros, brutal scheduling at the US Open, and witnessed every form of favoritism the tour can produce. He has seen it all, survived it all, and rarely, if ever, complained publicly about any of it. Rafael Nadal is the epitome of sportsmanship. He respects the game more than perhaps any player in history. He doesn't throw tantrums, he doesn't blame officials, he handles adversity with a grace that has made him beloved even by fans of his rivals. So when Rafael Nadal uses the word unfair publicly, that's not a complaint, that's a declaration of war. According to sources close to the situation, Nadal was livid after watching Alex's elimination. He didn't send a polite, better luck next time message. He spoke out with a quote that is now reverberating through every boardroom in professional tennis. "I have never seen a tournament as unfair as this one." Let that sink in. A player who has competed at the highest level for over 20 years, who has witnessed every possible form of tour politics and administrative dysfunction, singled out the 2026 Abu Dhabi Open as the most unfair tournament he has ever seen. That's not hyperbole, that's an indictment. Insiders suggest Nadal's fury centers on three specific issues that extend far beyond one tournament. First, nationality bias. The persistent feeling that players from Southeast Asia, from regions outside the traditional European and American tennis power structure, still don't receive the same protection, respect, and consideration as established Western stars. When a European crowd goes wild, commentators call it electric atmosphere. When Filipino fans bring that same energy, suddenly it's disruptive and inappropriate. The double standard is glaring to anyone paying attention. Second, the brutal travel and scheduling. Demands placed specifically on rising stars. Players like Alex are forced to fly across multiple time zones and compete immediately without the bye rounds that top seeds receive automatically. By the time they face those top seeds in later rounds, they've already played twice as much tennis and recovered half as much. The system isn't just unfair, it's designed to ensure the established hierarchy remains undisturbed. Third, ranking protection that punishes emerging talent while shielding the elite. Despite Alex's meteoric rise through 2025 and early 2026, she's still fighting a point system that hammers you for one bad week while protecting players who haven't had to prove themselves in months. But here's what has the tennis authorities actually panicking. Nadal didn't stop at criticism. He reportedly issued a sharp 10-word warning that has triggered emergency meetings and frantic policy reviews. While the exact phrasing remains tightly guarded by officials who received it, insiders describe the sentiment as unmistakable. An ultimatum, a line in the sand, something to the effect of, "Fix this broken system or I expose everything publicly." The impact was instantaneous. We're hearing reports that Abu Dhabi organizers are suddenly reviewing their scheduling policies for next year. The WTA is reportedly examining court assignment procedures. Sponsors are asking uncomfortable questions about tournament integrity. Why the sudden urgency? Because when Rafael Nadal threatens to expose unfairness, the entire tennis economy listens. His endorsement deals alone generate more revenue than some tournaments. His voice carries more weight than any active official in the sport. If he decides to wage a public campaign against systemic bias, the establishment cannot survive the scrutiny. This isn't just about one match or one tournament anymore. This is Nadal putting his entire legacy on the line to protect the next generation. Specifically, a 20-year-old from the Philippines who he watched grow up at his academy, who he has personally coached and encouraged, who he considers family. He is effectively telling the tennis world, you will not bully this girl, you will not treat her like a second-class citizen, you will not grind her down with administrative warfare while pretending the playing field is level. Will we see fairer treatment in Doha? Will Alex finally get the recovery time and court assignments that top seeds have enjoyed for decades? I predict yes. What do you think?